When nobody was talking about tennis at the Linz Open players' party, they were talking about Eala. The 20-year-old Filipino star walked in wearing a wine-red dirndl, looked completely at home among the WTA elite, and then, just to make sure everyone noticed, won an egg and spoon race.
Yes.
You read that correctly. And honestly, that might tell us more about where she is headed than any match result ever could. What actually happened that night the Linz Open was celebrating its 35th anniversary, and the tournament went all in. They partnered with a local designer to provide every player with a custom-made dirndl, authentic Austrian folk dress, complete with bodice, blouse, and apron. These are not cheap costumes or novelty outfits. They are genuine pieces of cultural heritage. And the fact that players like Eala, Paula Badosa, and Mira Andreeva fully committed to wearing them says something in itself. Nobody was half-hearted about it. They showed up, they embraced it, and they made it mean something. Eala chose wine red. That is worth noting. She could have played it safe. She could have gone neutral, blended in, let someone else own the room. Instead, she picked a bold, striking color and wore it with complete confidence. Compare that to Badosa's sleek black look or Andreeva's soft pale blue, and you have three players expressing three very different personalities through the same tradition, all of them pulling it off beautifully. Eala did not simply attend the party. She made a statement. What the evening actually represented the outfit is only the surface. What this evening meant for Eala runs considerably deeper. She was standing in the same room, laughing and competing alongside Paula Badosa, a former world number 2, a multiple WTA title winner, someone who has been at the very top of this sport. She was posing for photographs with Mira Andreeva, the top seed at this tournament, and one of the most exciting young players on the entire tour. This was not a meet and greet with strangers. This was Eala operating comfortably within tennis's inner circle, and that matters enormously for a player still building her place in the game. Tournament director Sandor Reeder did not hold back when reporters asked about her. He called her unbelievable, spoke about how meaningful it is for the Philippines and for the sport itself to have someone of her quality competing at this level, and said publicly that she will own the future of the tour. That is not promotional language from someone unfamiliar with the game. Reeder has been running a WTA 500 event for years. He has seen hundreds of players come through. When he says something like that, he means it. And those kinds of words from those kinds of people do not get forgotten. The egg and spoon race, I know how it sounds. Stay with me. Eala did not simply show up and participate. She competed. She pushed. She won. Even in a ridiculous Easter party game, the competitive instinct kicked in without hesitation. That is not a small detail. The greatest athletes in the history of sport, Federer, Djokovic, Serena, were notorious for being absurdly competitive in the most casual settings. Practice sessions, warm-ups, off-court games. They refused to lose. They could not switch it off. The fact that Eala appears to have that same wiring, that same inability to be casual about competition even when the stakes are literally just an egg balanced on a spoon, says something genuine about her mentality. Champions do not switch it off. And Eala apparently is no different. The tennis ahead Eala's first-round match in Linz is against Julia Grabher, the local Austrian wild card who will have the entire crowd behind her and absolutely nothing to lose. On paper that sounds manageable. In practice, it is one of the trickiest possible openers. Grabher knows these courts. She feeds off home energy. She will be fired up in a way that most tour veterans simply are not. Eala needs to be sharp from the very first game, prevent Grabher from establishing any foothold, and close the match before the crowd becomes a significant factor. It is entirely doable, but it requires focus and execution from the first point. Beyond Grabher, the draw gets legitimately demanding. Top seed Andreeva. 4th seed Yelena Ostapenko, a former French Open champion with one of the most explosive games in women's tennis. 7th seed Ani Lee, unpredictable, athletic, capable of hurting anyone on a given day. For Eala to win this tournament, she would need to navigate that caliber of competition across 5 or 6 rounds. That is what winning a WTA 500 actually demands. But here's the thing. Eala has already demonstrated she can compete with players at that level. The raw ability is not the question. The question is whether she can sustain that level across a full week. As matches get longer, pressure accumulates, and the margin for error disappears entirely. That is the wall every promising player eventually has to break through. And Eala is standing right in front of it. Why the party matters beyond the photos when Eala shows up at a prestigious WTA event, looks comfortable, interacts naturally with the tour's top players, and receives public praise from the tournament director. That shapes perception in ways that compound across an entire career. Sponsors are watching. Tournament schedulers are watching. The broader tennis media is watching. The more Eala is seen as someone who belongs at this level, not just statistically but culturally and personally, the more doors open. Better scheduling. Direct acceptance into bigger draws. Endorsement conversations that simply do not happen for players who have not cultivated that kind of presence. The visibility she is generating right now is building something that will only grow with time. There is also the national dimension, and it is impossible to separate it from everything else. The tournament director said it plainly. Eala representing the Philippines at events like this is meaningful for an entire country. She is not simply ranked 46th in the world. For millions of people back home, she is proof that it is possible. That kind of weight could crush someone, but it can also fuel someone. Everything we have seen from Eala suggests she carries that responsibility with pride rather than fear, converting national expectation into energy rather than anxiety. Wearing the dirndl was not purely a fashion moment either. It was a gesture of cultural respect, a signal to the tournament, to the fans, and to the wider tennis community that she is genuinely engaged, that she cares, that she is not simply passing through on her way to the next event. Tournaments remember those things. Being a player people genuinely enjoy having around makes a career easier to sustain over the long term. The connections being built, the relationships being formed here, with Badosa, with Andreeva, with Alexandra Eala, and the others who were all in that room, can last for years. Tennis is one of the loneliest sports in the world. You travel constantly, compete alone, and grind through the same exhausting schedule week after week. Having genuine friendships and mutual respect with other players does not just make the tour more enjoyable. It creates practice partners, sounding boards, and a support network that most people on the outside never see. Eala building those connections at 20 years old is smart career management, whether she is consciously thinking about it that way or not. How far she has come, it is worth stepping back for a moment and appreciating the distance traveled. Not long ago, Eala was fighting for ranking points on the ITF circuit, grinding to earn entry into WTA-level events. Now she is ranked 46th in the world, a recognized presence in a WTA 500 draw, and the tournament director is publicly calling her a future owner of the tour. That is not luck. That is years of work, sacrifice, and growth becoming visible all at once. The choice of wine red was also, whether consciously or not, a personality decision. Safe players picked safe colors. Eala picked the one that would stand out, demand a second look, and be memorable in every photograph from the evening. That same willingness to be bold, to take a risk and commit to it fully, is precisely what separates interesting tennis from predictable tennis. The players who win tournaments are not the ones who play it safe at 3-3 in the third set. They are the ones who go for it. Eala appears to be wired that way off the court. It will serve her on it. And back to that egg and spoon race for one final moment, because it is the kind of story that fans actually remember and retell. Beyond the competitive instinct it reveals, it is the kind of moment that makes an athlete genuinely human and relatable. People do not only want to cheer for winners, they want to connect with personalities. They want players who have real moments, funny moments, surprising moments. Eala winning a silly party game with the same intensity she brings to a match tiebreak is exactly the kind of thing that builds a fan base built on genuine connection rather than just results. That is a different and deeper kind of support, and it is invaluable across a long career. What this week could mean at 20 years old, Eala is already managing 3 things simultaneously: building match results, building a national legacy, and building a global brand. And she appears to be doing all three with a level of composure that most players do not develop until their mid-20s. The wine-red dirndl, the egg and spoon trophy, the photographs with Badosa and Andreeva, these are not distractions from the tennis. They are part of the same story. They are evidence of a player who understands that winning on the court and winning in the world around the court are not separate goals. They feed each other. If this week in Linz goes the way it could, if the first title arrives, if the draw awards the form she has been carrying through the hard court swing, then we might look back on this anniversary party, on this red dress, and this ridiculous party game as the quiet moment before everything changed.